It's his flat. Alexander just said, well, we crossed the river earlier, and he said, this little lake, river. He said, this is my river. Back in Bromley. Certainly feels like very familiar. 20 years in this area. Familiar, but of course, constantly changing. Question is, some people say we shouldn't be talking about it so much, just get on with life and so on. Okay, but it's also important to be watchful and aware of what's going on, otherwise one could get caught up in the tsunami. This is also a time of great opportunity, and we have to know that to realize that appealing to higher authority of a man-made type is never going to realize the true sovereign path, or the I'm losing it. Go on. Fly, girl. Just fly. Oh, what she spied. Gonna go into the kill. Something to eat? The fisherman patiently waits. Let's see if I can hold her in focus. There. See if she goes for something in the water. That would be epic. Epic. Go for it. Out in nature, it is all about the hunter and the hunted, but living in harmony with its environment. Sometimes, however, certain parasites or foreign species wants to go. Foreign species invade an area and, like a parasite, sometimes kills the host. See, humans have that potential, I suppose, to kill the host. Boom. Did she score? Can't be absolutely sure. A little tail clean there. Oh yeah, a bit of swallowing. Oh, something seems to be going down. Yep. I think that might have been a hit. But perhaps this kind of malaise, or this state of this dream reality, is the consequence of humanity not being true to its nature. Kind of getting lazy, perhaps parasitic, but I'm not one of those human bashers. Caught a bit of what's his name, social experimentalist Danny. I used to find him, enjoyable when he was kind of sticking it to the system and the corporations and so on. But now he's turned his attention to, humanity are the problem. We should stop breeding and so on. So just another clever guy being duped by the system to do their job for them, to work for them, to remind people that they are like, what was that upstart who got on the got given a stage on the UN, Greta Thunberg, like that. It's like, yeah, you're the problem, you are disgusting, you are well, if that be true, then you're saying that of the creator and of creation. So all the system has done, it seems, is sought to weaken, damage, sicken creation, and to get creation to hate itself, to see itself as vermin, as parasites, as scum. And we see some of that kind of behavior played out, because if you treat people a certain way, many of them will behave in that way. So we really should be mindful that to slight our brothers and sisters who are one way or another, and to say that humanity is whatever, you're saying that of God, you're saying that of the Creator, because the Creator is designing something perfect, but we have allowed it to become imperfect. And we continue to appeal to the same system of authority through the religious orders, through the royal orders, and through the governmental mind control orders. We continue to kind of appeal to those same institutions to rectify the problem, rather than going to the source of the problem, which is our own misguided, misinformed perspective on who we are and what the world is. So until we take that perspective, we are going to continue to blame the headmaster, the prison warder, the order follower. We're going to continue to blame these people for the problem, and seek redress from those outlets. And I'm not trying to be, crass, but it's actually folly, and it's futile. Unless it has as part of its message that this collectivism is mob rule, and that individual rule or anarchy is really about really becoming the man and the woman that you're meant to be, divinely inspired, whatever, it doesn't matter what you're, well, it helps if you have an insight that this is a divine thing, and this is a spiritual, perhaps a spiritual path that we've been set upon, a challenge that we've been set upon. And do we fall for the traps? Do we get caught up in all the trappings, or do we by example set something out, something new, something different, something better? But it's got to be from the within, and that seems to me to be the biggest challenge of all, is getting an honest, less egoic sense of the self. And if I speak for myself, it's an ongoing journey, but one that I know that after 45, 46 years of age, I was able to take in a completely different direction that hadn't previously been obvious or available to me, or consideration that I was willing to really put my heart and soul into, right? So it's, you know, I give that as advice because I come across a lot of people who are still some way back on their journey, and it's hard for any of us to accept that oh, we're not the complete article. I think, or maybe not hard for any of us, it's hard for many to accept that we're not the complete article, and that we have much yet to learn and much yet to grow. So I offer that as reflection for people, a little bit of a nudge, because the seduction of banging on the COVID drum, banging on the flat earth drum, and like a drum, the earth is observably flat, well, the water is flat, and we can't show any rotational forces. Don't bring up Coriolis if you're not on board, although most people listening to this are already aware enough to have set aside that indoctrination, at least. However, you know, we spend a lot of time agonizing over that indoctrination and trying to get our friends and family, the ones we care about, to realize the importance of understanding that we've been deceived in such a way that we truly don't know the nature of the world that we're living in, and we're having to rediscover it all for ourselves again, and rediscover ourselves again. We have to rediscover ourselves, don't we? Because our true selves, our sense of self, our natural senses, these were all taken from us a long time ago, from our parents, from our grandparents probably. So, you know, it's a long, sometimes uncomfortable and painful journey, but one which I really commend you to consider as your journey, as the importance of your journey, not the importance of my journey or someone else's journey, but the importance of yours. We all die. We all go back, I think, to the same source. You know, I don't know whether good deeds and bad deeds have been measured and weighed and all of that stuff. That's in the unknown for me. My sense is that it's a cleansing, and it's a returning, no matter what your physical body and soul got up to. But you know, I like to have an optimistic view of that, because the other view that all of them are gonna be like hacked down in a million years of you know, coming back as being someone's arse servant or whatever. You know, I don't know. I don't want to produce anyone or say that, oh, if you don't do what I do, or you know, some other high attainment thing. I think he's probably by the other bridge. The chances are he's at the upper bridge. Go find Lukey. Well, we're on a mission to find Lukey. All right, let's go find Lukey. I think we'll go this way. Let's go. Yeah, the bridge. Yeah, yeah, there isn't any judgment about that. It's really just about my journey, you know. And the more I kind of come around all these folks who are lost, and you know, and I don't say that unkindly. I just realize that because I was once lost, and now I'm found. I hope, you know, and or certainly my heart and soul are in you know, good health. The light is burning brighter in me, and this crazy reality is forcing that, you know. we'll have to set aside the gaggle of geese, the noise of the unbelieving, or the you live in the dream. What's wrong, my baby?
It's a feather.
Wow, a white feather. That's amazing.
Take it?
Thank you. For me?
Yeah.
I love you. Oh.
Let's go.
Let's go.
I'll finish this later. Honestly, friends, I think it's the point where it doesn't matter. You know, if you're a believer in globe theory, theory of gravity, germ theory, you know, that pandemics can come out of someone's coughing. You know, it doesn't really matter if you believe in it or not. I think what's created here is a dialectic. Two paths to choose, two tracks for the train to run on. And the train is running away with people's consciousness. And it doesn't matter whether it's the believers in the theories of theology and science, or the believers in the absence of evidence for the theories, and therefore the absence of belief in them. It's going to create a real divide, and people are going to be in conflict about that for some time to come.
I want something.
What does Easy want?
Chips.
You want some chips? Alright.
The next station is Bromley South.
That's us. Sorry about the noise. Okay, we'll go. Dark or light? Or was it meant to be something in the middle? No one seems to be noticing the insanity of having to go to a takeaway place to get some food. No, there's no space for you at lunchtime because 40-minute wait. We have to leave a table between tables. Okay, let's just go to a quick takeaway joint and get some chips and a burger for the boys. Would you mind scanning your mobile phone before you place an order, just so we can trace you in case someone coughed in our shop? People don't seem to notice. They seem somehow to care. In Strange Dream, and actually I had this, I was listening to these girls, two girls walk past me, masked up, young girls, talking, and you can see no sort of mouth movement or facial movement, but you just hear the voices, and it made me think of that Matrix scene in which Keanu Reeves has his mouth gummed up and he can't speak. We've got to break through that, you know, not in fighting with these folks who can't see, who can't breathe. Allow yourself to breathe. Strike out for your own freedom. I walk around here and the place stinks of hand sanitizer. And people are rubbing their hands all the time. I've been away 2.5 months from this town. It's like a masquerade ball from a horror show. Gotta go. Some people can't see the cross-continental, cross-planar kind of coordination and so on, you know. How many places you go to are just like this, just high numbers of people wearing masks or delaying them, taking them off, and being forced into a shop, forced to wear one in a shop. Oh, it's just difficult just simply to get a bottle of water. Without going through some kind of hoopla. If we tolerate this, then our children will be next. I think it's too late. the religious folks. There's two. Yeah.
No.
Make sure you keep your distance. I'm in Bromley, right? And this is obviously pretty normal around most places, but this one was interesting for me. Avoid local lockdown. Basically, this is like a stick. This is like a punishment for if you don't follow the rules, we're going to lock you down. In other words, this is a weapon now that the government can use against people. Well, against people's minds, because government means mind. Gotta go. See now, just to get into WH Smith, you have to go through security. WH Smith sells stamps and letters. Let's see how this goes. I'm not even gonna try. I'm not even gonna try that. I just remain flabbergasted. Flabbergasted, I tell you. People. And of course, you know, those who enforce these rules are simply doing their job. Some of them, many of them, buying it. But it doesn't really matter because the corporation, this is all corporation, isn't it? Is being given life. Speaking dead, corpse oration, is being given life by the human. The machine, the dead machine, lives through you and me, through us all. And it now controls us and tells us what we can do when, how, and like the song, maybe we've got to turn and love around, but really feels like a new age solution. I can project as much love as I want to out into the world to these people. They're not gonna hear anything. I try with people you close with. It's always a reason, an excuse that, oh well, this, or hey, if I have to do it, then so must you. So I'm gonna try and go home without any water. It's gonna it's all topsy-turvy and it ain't being righted unless the universe, unless nature delivers this pole shift, this event, this change, this moment where all of this stupidness starts to make more sense. But either way, we must set something up. We must be our own master. We must seek that out. And to that end, I'm looking for people who are interested in working on that. I mean, primarily at this stage, you know, it's about having sufficient budget to undertake such a project. So it is about pulling the right resources together. Certainly, I'm not looking for people to come and laze around, you know, just hope for a better day. No, we've got to create that through our toil, through our efforts. But as you know, my journey hasn't been one of financial success, or so I'm almost forced, well, I am forced by that to seek to work with others who are in a position to finance projects that might well be financially, you know, profitable, hopefully modestly profitable, but that ultimately engineer or begin to engineer the beginnings of a new world, brave new world, as Huxley coined. A brave new world of people who are unwilling to contribute energy to this perversion of good society. There's nothing less than a total perversion of good society, and those who just shrug their shoulders and say, "Oh well, I'm all right. Just got to get on with it." That's their call, you know. Again, no judgment on that. But fuck that. It ain't for me. It ain't for me. And in my view, cozying up and just shrugging your shoulders and getting along with it, with this evil, it's like saying there's a rapist in the family. Your daughter comes to you, "I've been raped by your brother." Oh no. Don't talk about that. That's not. No, you're probably making that up anyway. That's a conspiracy theory. You must be a fool. Well, we're never going to listen to anything you say again. Shut up and go to your room. You might as well be that person, in my view. But I do have to love and respect the fear or the darkness that must be closing your mind or your heart, such that you go along with it. I mean, it was already, you notice, the picture I took was of a Burger King. We were just trying to get some chips for Alexander. Choices are very limited. That was the third place we tried, and I do regret even being in a situation where I have to. In the end, we went to the supermarket and got some bread and chicken. Anyway, we a bit louder. We may all be kings and queens, sovereign divine beings, entitled to something magnificent, a share of something wonderful, beautiful, nature, abundant nature. We've so lost sight of that. Perhaps coronavirus is our opportunity to see that, or begin to rediscover, remember what we are, who we are. So I'll finish this here and say, go well on your journey. Speak your truth. Take courage. Look at those cardinal virtues, those 7 heavenly virtues. We don't have to be perfect, but we should seek to embody those virtues rather than the sins, the 7 deadly ones and the others. Good luck. Bye from Zizi, and bye from me.